A very good morning and welcome to Smart Means Business. My name is Masek Etsime, and of course I'm joined with Godwin Batuma Chaine, and of course today is just 1 minute past 8, and we're into a second hour of Smart Means Business every Monday to Friday from 7 to 9:55 a.m. As you know, we're always here to give you anything related to business. This is your #1 TV station to tune in every day, 24/7 actually. Well, of course, as you know, we are always here to inspire and get you motivated. But anyway, before we go to that, I would like to know how Godwin's morning has been. Of course, and it's been a long time. Maybe you could say hi.
Hi, good morning everyone. I hope you had a lovely day. It's Tuesday morning. I know it's raining. It's been a very rainy month. I do not know when the rain is going to stop. But what I'm really concerned about is the roads right now. The roads are looking horrendous because of this rain, and we need to be able to fix it.
And the construction that is taking place along certain roads.
Right, and I hope this construction is going to be long lasting, right? Because you know how we are. We're known to put a lot of money into construction, and before you know it, 6 months down the road is still having a gaping hole after 6 months. I know coming from Muyenga, there's a flood. It's like a swimming pool right in front of John Rich Supermarket, for those who know. So it's horrendous right now. But otherwise, I'm doing well, and we're ready for the Smart Means Business News today, and we have a lot to discuss today. What about you, Masi?
Oh yeah, I feel like we have a lot to discuss, but anyway, I think let's get motivated and see how we get through this day. And of course, that is Jim Rohn telling you not to actually, successful people shouldn't actually rely on unsuccessful people. So definitely, I think what actually got my attention was the first one. Before you begin, you have to make sure that you get into the right mindset. Well, and of course, I've had some issues with that because there's sort of excitement. When you're here to start something, you're excited. Yeah, you're excited because, I mean, probably you have the capital to start up, but then I don't think sit down like for days and think about it. I remember I was trying to do something, and I was really excited. I'm like, I want to start tomorrow. I was really excited until things didn't turn out the way they did. So it led me to take my time since then. If I want to begin something, I take time, 2 weeks, a month to think about it.
Right, and
get into
And they have talked about the mindset that you have to be in before you start something. The attitude is everything, right? If you're going into something expecting quick results, it might not be the case. You have to have that fortitude. You have to put your pedal to the metal, almost get down and put your hands on your sort of, hands on the ground and really get down to it. But you have to be able to be realistic and say, you know what, this might not be a quick fix, but I need to be able to have the right mindset to make sure that you thrive in any kind of business. I believe when you're starting a business, when you're growing a business, you're going to have your dark days and good days. So it's important to be able to have a good mindset for it and a good attitude moving forward. Yeah,
true. I must say I agree with Godwin right there. So please change your mindset so that we can actually do things the right way next year, because this year really people have not been giving positive reactions towards this year, but then we're hoping that next year is going to be better, inshallah, like the Muslims say, God willing, if we are still alive. And of course, I think right now we're going to get into the press review, and of course making headlines, the Katanga case, the Katanga case, those that were remanded, and of course over charges of murder. Of course, here government moves to disband district land boards, and of course, still here in the new vision, we see more men seek government support over abusive women. Of course, there are cases of men that are being battered in their marriages or in their homes, so definitely we shouldn't ignore that as well. And of course, a strange disease kills people in Chotela. Well, of course, that is it for the new vision. Maybe you could let us know.
Right, and we're seeing as well in the Daily Monitor, they're still highlighting the Katanga murder. Just a little bit about him. He was a known money lender in town who owns lots of properties. And we can see with Molly Katanga as well, she's quite known to own lots of properties, including in Buya and other areas surrounding. So this is quite a big case. It almost mirrors the Kasiwakura case. And how does this affect business? These are people that own a lot of business in Uganda. This is a prolific money lender in Uganda. So we're seeing that a lot of the children are also being remanded in the case for the murder. And I happen to know one of them as I looked.
Okay. Well, of course, still here, I was amazed yesterday as I was watching the State Minister Mutuzo, actually, who was echoing about abusive marriages mostly, and of course she highlighted and she said, who says women are supposed to be given? Also bring something to the table.
And from what you're saying,
like,
and from what you're saying with the Molly case,
noted.
she also seemed to be doing something. She was a big supplier to big governments, right? We're also seeing here, judge blocks Bitature's attempt to bypass South African lenders. So we're seeing here the lenders say the businessman wanted to dilute their influence in his companies. So we see here a judge in the commercial division of the High Court in Kampala has blocked attempts by businessman Patrick Bitature to sidestep his South African creditors and take back shares and properties he mortgaged to them. So you can see he's trying to dilute almost the influence of South Africa as lenders in his business, which I wonder, it's a weird business move that he's pulling over there.
Apparently, there is a King Oil's movie to market Uganda abroad. Well, of course, the Uganda being here, I think I think it's going to be a movie that is going to be showcasing mostly tourism, focusing on tourism in Uganda. So definitely there's going to be a movie titled King Oil Rwenzori Mountain Expedition. So yes, we're here to see his adventurous movie right there.
Right. Speaking of culture institutions, we see here that shillings 60 million monthly funding from government is welcome bailout to cultural institutions. So we see here that in the preamble of Uganda's construction, the state pledges to promote and preserve the cultural values and practices which enhance the dignity and well-being of Ugandans. And the recent pledge by the government to allocate 60 million per month to every cultural institution may be calculated at activating this constitutional directive.
Well, of course, stakeholders target 1 million women to boost agriculture. Well, of course, the Islamic Development Bank has partnered with different stakeholders to reach out to 1 million female farmers in a bid to equip them with substantive skills to boost agricultural production. As you know, women are actually known for, they are more into these kind of things, agriculture, farming. Yeah, so definitely 1 million is really a big number to support those women. If we could support those 1 million, that means there is something that is going to be added. And of course, women are among those impacted by the effects of climate change. Yeah, the seasons were changing. Those that were expecting to plant, the planting season was different.
Right.
Yeah. There was drought, so definitely there was a lot of challenges.
I mean, we talked about climate change. Look at how the rain is getting more and more severe. In November, almost like every day it's raining. Yesterday it rained through the morning, through the afternoon, and I think in the night. It was crazy, right? But also the conversation surrounding women. We're seeing here in the job creation, conmen using humanitarian organization to fleece job seekers. So we're seeing here, if you are Ugandan, you have probably heard this common phrase, Ugandans are not seated, right? As unemployment combined with hard economic times continue to bite hard, some people will do anything to hook or bike or hook survive if it means by the con artist. Yes,
I'm a victim of those things, really.
Yes.
I got an email and they're like, oh, then I applied, then how you finish campus and you're applying,
yes,
and then I get an email, oh, you've been nominated. I don't know if this is nominated or chosen, and we were giving a fee.
I've also been a victim of this kind of scams before. They say, apply for this job, you're going to get a job in Thailand, and you're going to get over $2,500 a month.
But then you have
and then everything, you have to, sometimes they don't even tell you to pay a fee immediately, right? They'll tell you everything is going to be cared for, you just need to pay for your air ticket going. That's why you have to be like, okay. I thought everything was cared for. So these people are becoming smarter and smarter, especially with the advent of, like we talked about AI systems before, things are becoming much, much more difficult to navigate, right?
Well, when we talk about health, the USA will continue supporting Uganda health sector, says Pope, and of course with supplying ARVs, shipping ARVs to Uganda. Yeah, so definitely the US has not really left us. They still support us.
Right, and in regarding that conversation around real estate and property value, we're seeing why real estate properties are selling below value. So understanding factors that lead to real estate properties fetching less than their worth is crucial for buyers and sellers alike, enabling them to navigate the intricacies of the real estate market more effectively. I would urge you to read this article in the Daily Monitor about real estate and value for those looking to get into real estate.
And of course, here in the comment section, tax all land and avoid related wrangles. Or recently there has been land issues, and of course one of the reasons as to why people have mental disorders is also some of the attributes due to land disputes and letting people run mad and chopping off people's heads just because of mere land. I mean, it's very funny how people do fight for land. At the end of the day, you're fighting for land, you're not going to use it. What is the purpose?
It's true, the land disputes are becoming much worse, and with the government talking about wanting to have sole ownership of all the land in the country, it's an interesting conversation, right? So we're seeing here Kasese leaders renew calls to lift hospital to referral status. So we're seeing the district has only one government hospital with the rest private and church affiliated. So leaders in Kasese have reiterated their appeal to the government to upgrade Mount St. Mary's Hospital to a regional referral to improve access to healthcare services in the district. And we also say regarding the downpour, with the heavy rains that have been coming, we're seeing Masindi bears the brunt of this downpour. I mean, just coming from, I told you Muyenga is like a swimming pool along John Ridge. So that's Muyenga, which is supposed to be a high-end area, but is having horrendous road construction. The roads are basically gaping holes. Now we're seeing here in Masindi, it's much worse. So a total of 600 acres of maize fields were destroyed, and 260 homesteads were displaced because of this heavy downpour.
That's a lot of loss right there.
A lot of land in maize. That's money. That's all money that's being lost, right? So floods caused by persistent rain have destroyed plantations and displaced residents in Masindi district. As you can see, that's quite bad. And I don't think this rain is stopping anytime soon because it's Today it hasn't rained so far, but it might rain in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, it definitely was drizzling, and of course some light showers of rain were coming just shortly. And of course here we see coal, oil and gas fueling cost of living crisis, and we see ahead of the COP28 conference can see climate action surge. So that is one of the that could be one of the reasons as to why we're going to be having the COP28 conference. It's going to be in Dubai, so please attend. Yeah, get a ticket, go to Dubai and attend. It could be for the good of you, the good of whoever is representing Uganda.
Right.
Whoever is representing Uganda will be able to give us information that they shared from that.
Right, and we're seeing here in the monitor as well, Mbire bags 5 billion Uganda shillings from MTN divided dividend payout. Can you imagine that? Charles Mbire, dividend payout. So MTN Uganda's shareholders will receive Shi's 134.3 billion in dividends for the year ended December 2023, going by telecommunications financial results. So we're seeing MTN Uganda is scheduled to pay shillings 134.3 billion to its shareholders on Friday, December 22nd, 2023, during which the dividend will be transferred electronically to the bank accounts or mobile money wallets of shareholders. Well, this is a big payout for them, eh?
Yeah.
So Charles Mbire, MTN Uganda's board chairman, will bag Shi's 5 billion from the dividend payout. In its unaudited financial results, MTN Uganda says during the third quarter period, MTN's profit after tax increased by 21.1%. Wow, to shillings 354.4 billion from shillings 292 billion in 2022. So we're seeing here that MTN says the second interim dividend declared was approved by the board of directors on Wednesday, November 1st, 2023. So in compliance with the requirements of Uganda Securities Exchange, USE listing rules 2021, the salient dates relating to the payment of the dividend are follows. Book closure date for dividend payment is Friday, December 1st, 2023. This is a huge payout for them. They must be smiling, knowing that he's getting a payout and sent directly either to their mobile money or to their bank accounts without a worry.
And of course, finally, Makerere University professor tips youth on use of digital technology for job creation. Of course, we've been talking about digital technology since beginning of year, and of course, emphasis has been made here. So definitely, if you're youth out there, invest much of your time learning digital technology. There's a lot of platforms that you could really embrace because we're into a digital era. Therefore, you have to be well equipped with technology know-how, whether you're youth, whether you're a middle-aged man or woman, really, technology is the way to go. When our mothers are now struggling to use smartphones, you know, they even called you, like, how can I access...
I saw a meme in the newspapers. No, it was someone who sent me a meme on WhatsApp saying those mothers can tell when you're pregnant, when you've had sex. They can tell when you're but they cannot they cannot put their own airtime on their phones or navigate the internet.
Oh no, because I mean that is really well, that is, I think it's their kind of trick that, you know, mothers can really see, you know, because intuitions that women have.
With that kind of intuition, and you still forget your password, or you don't know how to sign into Facebook.
Technology. Technology is different from the personal, you know, from the person. It's differently. It's different. Anyway, away from what is happening into the press, well, today we're having an interesting topic, and of course we're going to be looking at how we can improve corporate governance in our different organizations, and of course we have. We shall be discussing more of this, but of course now we're going to be looking at focusing on the different dynamics that are into, and of course one of them being trust, you know, building trust. Yeah, how to build trust. You know, trust is a very, very important aspect therein when it comes to transparency in actually different organizations. Yeah, so it is an intangible yet a crucial element, like I said, for businesses operating in complex and ever-evolving global landscape. And of course, this could be ways on how we could actually begin our new year Yeah, talking about corporate governance, which a cornerstone of trust. Well, I don't know, maybe you could tell me your view on actually.
So obviously, for those who don't know, we need to just get into a little bit about corporate governance is, right? So we see corporate governance refers to a set of rules, practices, and processes that govern the way a company is directed and controlled. It encompasses the relationships between a company's stakeholders, including shareholders, board of directors, management, employees, creditors, suppliers, and the community. We just talked about a conversation about MTN and sharing out, of course, for shareholders and dividends that they're going to be paid out by December 1st. We're seeing here that effective corporate governance is essential for several reasons, right? Protect investor interests. So we see that it safeguards the rights and interests of shareholders, ensuring that their investments are managed responsibly and ethically. So for those that are definitely, for shareholders that you're putting in your money, you want to make sure that it is governed holistically and ethically, right? And we're also seeing it helps to enhance the transparency and accountability. So it promotes transparency in companies, operations, and decision making, holding management accountable for their actions. So obviously, as a shareholder, you're able to hold the management accountable for the actions that they're having. If you say that they're running the company to the ground, you're able to come in and say, listen, as a shareholder, that doesn't make any sense. We need to be able to hold you accountable. Yeah, you're also responsible for hire and fire in some states. And of course, it helps mitigate risks and promote sustainable growth. So we see with the corporate governance, it helps companies identify and assess and manage potential risks, contributing to long-term sustainability and growth, which is very important. And of course, one of the most important ones is strengthen investor confidence as you're investing in any company, as we've seen just with MTN and all the investors that are going to be paid out.
Well, of course, with effective corporate governance, which is characterized with transparency processes and ethical decision making, providing a framework for building and maintaining trust. It also establishes a culture of integrity and accountability, reassuring stakeholders that their interests being considered and protected. So these are some of the key principles of a trustworthy corporate governance. Of course, we have transparency.
Right.
First of all, has to be transparency in organizations. Of course, organizations should openly communicate with their financial and non-financial information. Allowing stakeholders to make informed decisions. Well, of course, regular reporting and disclosure actually essential for building trust. There are some cases where some, when it comes to some decisions, there's always downplay. They tell a few people, or maybe they keep them to themselves. So, and of course, at the end of the day, stakeholders, if the major people are not really involved, it could have inconveniences. So that is, if there is anything that has happened, there has to be transparency. Communication is really key. Whether it's positive or negative, whether you've hit a deal, it is supposed to be clear. At the end of the day, these are the people that are going to step. These are the people that are going to step in for you and be your witnesses. And
it's important, especially for brand value and reputation as well. We know that, of course, it protects a company's reputation and brand value by preventing unethical or illegal activities. So when you have those stakeholders and shareholders on board, they're able to look through and say, do the checks and balances. I talk about checks and balances all the time on air. It's important to have that almost like a body that is able to be like, no, this doesn't make any sense. Let's go through the proper channels. It helps protect the value of the company and the image of the company as well.
Well, of course, there is also accountability. Clearly defined roles and responsibilities to ensure that individuals and teams are held accountable for their actions. And of course, this fosters a sense of ownership and promotes ethical behavior. So there is need for accountability. In case you do something, you're accountable for whatever assignment or responsibility that you've been handed on to. So also we have risk management, proactive risk identification, assessment, mitigation strategies help organizations navigate challenges and maintain stability. This is supposed to be a whole year plan, a whole year plan. You plan this from beginning of year. Okay, it could be not a 5-year plan on the regulations that are supposed to be followed in an organization. There has to be transparency. There has to be accountability, and of course, we see also ethical conduct is very, very key. The rules and regulations. If you break any of them. That is why most of the organizations have a code of conduct. I mean, you come in and they're pinned all over.
Right, and,
So
and
in
you also,
case you misbehave, you have to go back and look through.
Right, and it's also quite important as well for enhancing board independence and effectiveness. So we see that ensuring that corporate boards are composed of independent and competent directors with diverse backgrounds and expertise. So you find that a lot of times there's a lot of people from diverse backgrounds, different backgrounds and expertise that can lend something to the table, help the company in particular ways because they bring something else, different expertise, different experience to the table and able to enhance the working ways of the company.
Well, of course, we shall be letting you know more about corporate governance and, of course, ways we can actually have the strategic solutions that we could be having, and, of course, using technology, for governance. The fact that we're into a digital era, how are we going to incorporate in technology so that we can have proper governance? And, of course, we've seen government come up with different systems to curb corruption, to follow up the funds that are dispersed. That is also
it's true, and now especially, and you can see that's happening in Kenya now. So if everything is purely AI or everything is on the internet, we're able to monitor properly. We're able to see where the funds are coming from, where they're being shared. It's harder when things are being done cash and bank account only. So we're going to see that there's going to be a change in the ecosystem regarding how we're able to monitor transactions, accountability. Things are definitely going to change because your whole identity is now going to be online. Your transactions are going to be online. They're going to be monitored properly. So it also allows anyone, wherever you are in the world, to be able to understand where is the money going and where is it coming from, and I can monitor it directly. So that's good.
Well, of course, we are going in for a short commercial break, and of course, coming up is going to be sports and entertainment business news. Do please stick around. We have much more in store for you.